We interrupt this program to bring you
Dirty South, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? East Coast, feel me. West Coast, feel me. Dirty South, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? I got East, feel me. West, feel me.
Boy, I've been watching you like the hawk in the sky. You are my prey. Boy, I promise you, if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days we gon' hook it up, probably talk on the phone. But see, I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back this secret from you. I probably shouldn't.
It took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie, but there are times where auntie gotta talk to her babies and say some real shit. Yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap, but I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas. I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? They got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it. It's not to get a man. It is just your representation of you, my sweet babies. So I'm just giving y'all a warning. If I see you in the streets, in the airport, in the Walmart, and you got a bonnet on and you got slippers on and you looking like what the fuck, Nikki gonna tap you and say, hey, baby girl, show you what you worth. Because if you look like you don't give a damn, how you gonna be treated?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
If you're someone who's been on social media the past few months, 9 times out of 10, you've heard about this stupid, ridiculous bonnet debate online. And it's honestly so tiring. It's so dumb. This is a rant. I don't care. But I don't know. I feel like I just want to make a video on it because why not? Everything that Monique said was so deeply rooted in the need of approval from white people and internalized coonery, and it is so sad. For starters, the purpose of a bonnet is to be worn as a clothing item / a item of headwear to reserve a woman's hair when it is not in a presentable state. So say you got a silk press and your hair is probably wrapped up and you put a bonnet on top of it because you don't plan on going anywhere. Or say that you probably washed your hair and you have it in cornrows or in plaits, or maybe you plan on getting your hair done, or you just took off a wig and your hair is braided. Either way, it's not in a state that is quote unquote presentable, so you wear a bonnet to preserve it until it is ready to be, done. And any black woman that wears a bonnet or a headscarf is aware of this. So when it comes to this idea of, oh, why can't we just do our hair? Or, oh, it only takes a little bit of time to do your hair. Due to Eurocentric standards of beauty, black women can't just walk out of the house with a messy bun the same way Miley Cyrus can, because if we do, our hair is frizzy. And then it becomes, oh, can you do something to your hair, to, oh, can you sleek your hair? So the only way a black woman's hair is quote unquote presentable is if it is sleeked down. And sure, there are ways that you could put curling cream on it and pick it out into a fro, but that takes time. Picking your hair into an afro takes effort. Braiding out your hair and combing it and putting pins in it to put it in a hairstyle, that takes time. Those hairstyles can't just be done in 5 minutes, especially when I'm most likely just trying to run to the store to pick up some milk and then come back home. And it doesn't make any sense for a woman to take down her bonnet, unbraid her hair, put it in a ponytail, sleek it with gel and grease and water, and hurt her arms trying to pull it as tight as possible just for her to go to the grocery store and get something to eat. It doesn't make any sense for us to put in immense effort into making sure that our hair is presentable or formal for informal settings. It makes no sense, especially when white women or white people aren't held to that same standard. And in Monique's video, she claims that the problem or the issue is that as a people, we've lost pride in how we present ourselves. But personally, I think the issue is that we live in a society where this is acceptable or hashtag relatable, but this is inappropriate or tacky or ghetto. When in fact, both of these looks are simply comfortable. Yet one side gets crucified for being comfortable and the other side doesn't. This Sunday best ideal derives from the pre-post segregation era. Black people felt the need to always dress in their Sunday best to impress white people or to appear wealthy or civil. And a lot of older black people with these traditional morals or values or ideals constantly feel the need to be in your Sunday best or always be quote unquote presentable whenever you go out into public to not give white people something else to laugh at. But the thing is, it's not our job to appease white people. It's not my job to put my hair in a state that's presentable or acceptable for you because you personally deem my head garnet improper or uncivil. Oh well, like, deal with it. It's not my issue, it's your issue. After all, what are we dressing for? Sure, pajama wear isn't necessarily formal, but the grocery store and the mall aren't formal settings. Black women aren't wearing bonnets to movie theaters, job interviews, red carpets, dinner settings. There is no black woman wearing a bonnet to a formal setting. And if there are, it's very rare. Let's be real here. So how am I showcasing a lack of pride in myself by going to informal public settings feeling comfortable? That's the real question. The question isn't when do we lose pride in ourselves? The question is why does society hold black women to a higher standard than other races and demographics? Despite whether or not you agree or disagree with Monique's statement, that aside, I want to say that her recent behavior has just been outright disgusting. After posting her video where she basically complained or expressed her disregard for black women that wear bonnets and pajamas in public, she then proceeded to post a picture on her Instagram of a black woman at a laundromat with a bonnet and pajamas on. She said that a lot of people had been tagging her in the post, and her caption basically said, "If this is the best you can do, I understand, there's no judgment, but if you can do better, do better." And a lot of the comments underneath the post consisted of things along the lines of, "Oh, this is tacky, this could never be me, I could never, as a people we have to do better," shaking my head, all of that stuff. And I think it is very disgusting and disappointing that she would enable the crucifixion of a black woman on her platform and open this innocent woman who is just comfortable washing her clothes and minding her business and put her on a platform where millions of people can just judge her and label her as something that she probably isn't because she chose to step out of her house in a way that made her feel comfortable. And the fact that someone who is supposed to be pro-woman, pro-black would allow the disrespect of this innocent woman is just absolutely disgusting to me. Another thing I want to talk about is a lot of superiority complexes that come from this debate. There are so many girls on Instagram that genuinely believe that because they put their hair in a ponytail when they go to the gas station, but other black girls choose to wear a bonnet, that it somehow makes them superior. And it's especially frustrating to me because The youth are constantly disobeying what their elders say, and we're constantly straying away from old traditional toxic ideals of how we're supposed to present ourselves. We twerk on camera, we get wasted in public, and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? We're young, we're sexually liberated, we're having a good time, and we're basking in our youth. And although some people may consider this classless behavior, we don't necessarily care because we're a new generation and we don't care what other people think. However, when it comes to this bonnet situation, that's when it's, oh, don't be ghetto, or, oh, show some class. And if you personally don't think that wearing a bonnet in public is something that you like doing, that's fine. But don't be pretentious about it. Don't act like you're just this epitome of virtue in class because you choose not to wear a bonnet, knowing that you're the literal definition of ghetto fabulous. Come on now. The last thing I wanted to touch on is how this debate enables the prejudgment of black women. This is especially frustrating for me because as a community, we constantly fight against discrimination on the basis of clothing and outer appearance. We're quick to say, well, oh, just because a black man dresses a certain way, it doesn't automatically make him a thug. Or, oh, just because this woman dresses a certain way, it doesn't automatically make her a whore. It's just their sense of style. But yet when it comes to black women who wear bonnets, we don't say, oh, just because she dresses this way, it doesn't make her tacky. It's just that she wants to feel comfortable. But instead we say, although we constantly fight against other races and demographics prejudging us, let's make an exception for black women who wear bonnets because they were practically asking for it. And if they didn't want to be judged as dirty, then they should have presented themselves better. It's a complete double standard on our community, and it's arguably what makes me the most upset about all of this. In conclusion, y'all hate black women. We get it. Just admit it. And to the people out there that care so much about what we wear on our heads and that think that this bonnet is just the epitome of ratchetness and not having pride in oneself, I ask you,
why do you care so much?
if you made it this far, thank you for listening to my rant. I'm sure it was very incoherent and cringy to watch. Follow me on Instagram at vintage.coochie for more of my opinions, or you can subscribe here. If you disagree with my opinion, I still appreciate you for tuning in anyways, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.